Ahaha, we've made it. We're at the advanced level. This is the shit. This is where I'm at. And everyone in the advanced level, it's not like you go beyond the advanced level. You're just in the phase where you've had a lot of experience and now it's time to tweak some things, find the micro tweaks. These are things that I'm learning about every night I go out. I'm working on my own things. It's a never-ending process no matter how far along you are. There's always more things to learn. And what I want to do here is give you some of the recent sticking points I've had, things that really have helped me out, fine-tune it. And what we're going to really be focusing on here is the one-night stand, getting that girl home tonight. When you're in the intermediate level, you should have the point where you got enough abundance, where you have a few girlfriends. That's going well. We'll talk about how to deal with having multiple girlfriends at some point. But what we're doing here is just that quick action. Find the girl right now, maybe even 2 girls in a night. We'll be talking about that and the mindset you need. So what we get into this, I remember when I was just starting off with RSD, Tim was talking about being the sex-worthy guy. And this was a concept that I had I'm like, what does it mean to be the sex-worthy guy? What does that actually mean? And what is the mindset I should be cultivating? So if you remember from the newbie level, the mindset was, I'm awesome. The intermediate level, we have forcing the fun. I'm having fun. And now we're on the advanced level. And the thing we're going to add on top of that is, and you're a nymphomaniac. So as we talked about in the past about having the proper frame and holding that frame of reality, all you need to do is if your frame is strong enough, if I'm fucking awesome, I'm having fun, the attraction mode is going to be taken care of. And then if your other frame is, and you want to have sex with me right now, then if you believe that strongly enough, stronger than her, it's going to win out and love is going to happen. So that's what we're going to try to cultivate here. Again, it's going to be the nymphomaniac. I love you. You love me. Let's do this. Sex is a casual thing. And the more you can reinforce that, and you're just the next girl, and it'll just be fun in the night, no big deal, not serious. High five at the end of it. To cultivate this, I remember when I was going through that phase, and what I started doing was reading women's romance novels, and you'd read it, and this is shit like my mom reads, and it'll say like, oh, and Sergio took his long throbbing member, and with his long flowing hair, and it's this weird shit, and you realize how socially women are seen as these basically asexual creatures that don't have sex a lot. But if you actually look at the front of a Cosmo magazine or any sort of TV show where they're talking, Sex and the City is a great example, women are more sexual than men are. The thing we use in RSD, the joke we always say is if the woman, when you're having sex with her, who's the one like, yeah, freaking out, and the guy's usually just like, rah, 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 very mechanical. And for, I think guys, the sex, they actually enjoy the conquest and the conquering of it more than the actual activity of it and the enjoyment of it in the moment. The woman definitely enjoys that a lot. She has more even nerve endings and feelings down there than guys do. So when I was really cultivating this, I read those novels. I think that's a total waste of time. But what you want to do is start focusing that awareness, focusing that RAS on these type of things. So as that mindset kicks in and you start cultivating that, everything I watch on TV, every time I see a girl walk by, I'm thinking, oh shit, she's a nympho, she loves sex, boom. And I'll start filtering things about her, the dress she's wearing and how she's wearing that little flower to just show off a little bit so guys look at her, the cleavage she's wearing. And all these things are reinforcing to me this nymphomania that every woman has and how it's just a normal thing. Everyone's doing it. I've had guys ask me, what is the difference between the intermediate and advanced level? And if I think about myself when I had less experience to compare to where I'm at now and each year that goes by, I was telling Tyler this, that I actually feel that I do and say the exact same things. There's just more of a punch behind it. I call it petrified wood, where the wood, it just gets harder and harder and stronger and stronger. And I just own everything I do more and more to where it's just incrementally different. Maybe if somebody saw me 6 months ago from now, I feel drastically different. But on the surface, they might not be able to tell. But these are those key little differences. And what it is me, the self-trust I have about when I go up to that woman and just trusting myself fully that this is going to go well. And that reality just gets stronger and stronger. And she just falls into it quicker and quicker. The attraction is built quicker and quicker. And this comes more than anything just from experience. The only way you're going to get that is experience. If I think about becoming the whole sex-worthy unapologetically, where I just think sex is no big deal, a lot of that just came from me getting with enough girls to where that just happens naturally. I've had enough reference points of seeing girls after we hook up. She gives me the high five and said, "Oh, that's cool. Well, see you later." And I think, I don't have to cuddle or say goodbye even. You're just leaving. And seeing those experiences and having those experiences enough, I really do fully believe that it's casual. It's no big deal. And because of that, the women feel that. And it's such a lucid, strong self-trust concept inside my head. It just wins out. That reality wins out. Any girl that's remotely down is going to feel that. And then it just comes down to logistics. And what do I want out of this situation? Is she ready to go tonight? Is she hot enough? How am I feeling? Am I busy with work stuff? Do I want to even go home with her tonight? And it really comes down to full choice, which I think is where this game is really supposed to be played. This is where I'm really relying on that momentum and very inner game. At the advanced level, the attraction stuff should be purely an inner game thing. You're not outwardly thinking about your tonality too much, your eye contact. Of course, you can force it even more. And you're doing that more just to it's kind of like when you take a bunch of ants and you put a magnifying glass on them. You're doing that to the girl. You're using those high value traits and you have so much control over them, so much awareness and comfortability with it that you just use those kind of to poke at her just to see what she does. And you're playing around, and it's definitely a self-amusement thing, as opposed to earlier in the newbie or intermediate level where you're just trying on the new things and thinking to yourself, I'm going to try that eye contact thing. Ooh, this feels a little weird, but I'll do it anyways. When you're at the advanced level and the experience you have, you should not be uncomfortable holding that eye contact the entire time without even blinking. And the more you can hold it and not blink and just create that vibe, the more she's going to love it. I'm going to see how long I can go without blinking my eyes. Actually, I just did. It's over. So before I've mentioned the concept of the aura, and this is something my assistants have claimed to me and something I seem to give off in all situations. It might not be visible through the camera. Hopefully it comes through digitally through the camera. But usually what it is more so when I'm walking throughout the day, walking through life, and just this feeling of ease, this comfort with everything around me. And that's the sign usually of a guy that has his shit together and he's probably getting laid pretty regularly. Usually it's the guy who's stressed out, and the whole body language, all the things we've been talking about throughout the product, that mindset it manifests out through his overall vibe that he's giving off. So there's no distinct way of explaining what the aura is other than it creates this vibe inside where women can somehow see this. They have this intuition, and it's the feeling that, when you go and you hook up with some girl, you pull a girl home, the next day, all of a sudden you just can tell people seem to know. So maybe some girls brushing up on you. I had one time I hooked up with like 3 girls in 3 nights in a row. And each day, it got even worse. So the next day, I had one lady and she ran into a pole as she was staring at me. And of course, this has nothing to do with how I look. I've looked the same way for years and I never used to get these responses. But as I've gotten more comfortable with myself, I just got that unapologetic, I don't give a fuck about what you think. My life is so fucking kick-ass. That extreme narcissism, extreme self-love, and just fully trust in myself in any environment, in any country around the world. I've been with so many girls in so many different cities and where they didn't speak English and all over the world that I just feel fucking good. I feel at peace in the world. And women totally respond to that. It's hard because most guys that hit the advanced level have a pretty strong work ethic. You have to be going out for literally years to get to the point where you're getting the success that these guys are having. And because of that work ethic, usually they think whenever they're successful in some other area, you can use stress as part of a huge motivator towards something. But when you're going and you're chatting up a girl, whereas in any other situation, that stress, people would see that and think, oh, he's working really hard. When you're socializing in a social situation, she just feels that you're stressed, and she's stretched and stressed, we'll say, and she doesn't feel the good at ease aura, so she just doesn't like that. So you really need to go back into the intermediate realm, if that's some of your problems, and really cultivate that whole I don't give a fuck, I'm just having fun, forcing the fun, and keeping it so it's not too serious, especially at the advanced stage. This is the time where you should be able to go out every night and just have fucking fun. Force the fun. You don't let your external environment affect you. You know your little happy dance to get in that good state at the beginning of the night, and you won't let anything fuck with that. Since we're in the last mindset in the advanced section here, it's about time to take the dagger and stab out any insecurities you have left. Hopefully, you're getting to the point with the extreme self-love, loving yourself, creating the high self-esteem, and getting some good experience to where you pretty much lack any sort of serious insecurities. But the cool thing is, with having things about yourself that are kind of weird, those are the things that make you special. They make you special. This is like a motivational speech. If you look at any of the RSD instructors, they're cartoon versions of themselves. They're themselves with their personality cranked up to 1,000. If you look at a guy like Jeffy, he's got the raging mullet. He cuts it himself with his own knife. He drives around in the weird rape van. Or you have Tyler, who's the nerdy scientist, ginger guy, who's either got the crazy beard or the long hair. And he's all like this weird dude who reads a shit ton of books. And these are things that normally they probably would be made fun of. I'm sure Jeffy gets made fun of for the mullet all the time. So what does he do? He grows it even longer. For me, I'm from Wisconsin, so people always make fun of me for eating cheese. But I fucking love cheese. It's fucking awesome. So when they say that, I own that shit. I say, yeah, I love cheese. Fucking cottage cheese every night. Slow protein release. Helps me get jacked. I love string cheese. I love cheddar cheese. I love putting it on my burger. I put it on everything. Fuck yeah, cheese is awesome. So you're going to get these things that people make fun of you for. Maybe your friends already are making fun of you for different things. You play video games. These are the things that if you can just throw that out there to the girl, unapologetically love it and think it's kick-ass, she's going to think to herself that this guy is really fucking confident. He doesn't give a fuck at all what I think. He's totally entitled to me. He must get with girls like me all the time if he can just fully be himself around me. And the hotter the girl is, the more you can just be yourself and show off these weird qualities, the more attraction it's going to build. What I want you to start cultivating is becoming polarizing. Become the type of guy to peacock, put his head out there, take a risk. Society throughout your life has baited you and it's moved you into the gray area. If everyone was alpha, that'd be weird. You can't have a million Einsteins running around. So in the classroom and through grade school, people told you not to be loud. They told you not to freak out. Don't touch girls. Respect them. And all these things average you out into mediocrity. And that makes you, when women see someone who's as gray and mediocre, that's not attractive, mediocre. That's not attractive at all. They want the guy who stands out, that has the confidence to put himself out there. You think about times where maybe you bought a shirt and you like that shirt, but you felt a little bit uncomfortable wearing it because you thought people might say something. That's probably the shirt you should wear because it shows that you're comfortable wearing whatever you want. Who gives a shit what other people think? Become that polarizing guy. And by polarizing, I don't mean you have to get to the point where people hate you, but usually the more high value you are, the more haters you're going to get. I remember I saw this 12-year-old kid at the mall. He's fat. He's like a fat kid. And he had the shirt that said, "I love haters." It's probably bigger than the shirt I'm wearing right now because he's a fat little 12-year-old chunky kid. And I was thinking to myself, this guy doesn't have any haters. He's a little fat kid. He probably doesn't even talk. He's probably a nerd in school. Not that I'm judging him, but those are not the people that have haters. It's when you get fucking confident, awesome, you're putting yourself out there, taking the risk, and you get the high value status of having some girls in your life. A lot of times these are why some guys have success barriers to getting with a lot of hot women, because they're worried about the responsibility that comes with that and the guys that try to steal their women away and all these other weird responsibilities that you're going to have now that you're more high value and high status in our culture. So you have to plow through that shit and get comfortable being vulnerable, being yourself, and taking that risk, whether that be what you say to her. Don't be worried about if you love something, you love some sport, fucking say it, put it out there. If you don't like what she's talking about, tell her. Don't just sit back and not do anything. Call the girl out. You are the CEO of your life here. So if she's talking to someone else and you want to talk to her, hey, we're talking. Don't let her text while she's on her phone. Command that presence. Command her attention when you're going up to her. One last thing I want to talk to end this out is guys, when they think about the advanced level, they think, is there ever a point where you reach the pinnacle of game where you no longer think whatsoever about picking up the woman and it just happens and it's all unconscious? Well, me being a smart, intelligent human being, why would I want to get to the point where I just don't think and I'm just dull and dumb, not thinking anything? As I get more experience, I only think more. What you can't be thinking about or what you can't be questioning ever is your value or your status or the attraction. Do I have attraction? Do I not have attraction? Does she like me? Those thoughts can never come in. But for me, I've had so much experience. She could say something and I have a million different ways to respond to that. I've had thousands of experiences of how to respond. I've seen students respond in specific ways. I've read books about how to respond in specific ways. And I'm thinking, oh, should I overemphasize how to respond here? Should I plow it over? Should I ignore it? Should I call her out? And there's a million different ways I could respond. I view it similar to how a professional soccer player would be. When he goes, he's not just completely dumb and not thinking about anything during the game. He's on the offense. He's thinking, okay, I'm going to deke left, move to the right, curve the ball into the upper left-hand corner. And he's thinking constantly because he's worked on he's not thinking dribble. So the foundational stuff, the stuff we've talked about in the newbie level and some of the intermediate level stuff, that stuff's completely gone. And now you're just on the meta level thinking, what are logistics here? How do I befriend the friends? Let's work on that. And those cool concepts all come in to where you're comfortable now thinking on that higher level.